Good morning. Well, we are now in Holy Week. Good Friday and Easter are approaching, and that means we've come to the end of our Lenten series on embodied spiritual practices. Practices that can connect us with our spirituality and with God in and through our embodied selves. In the first episode, I talked a little bit about timing prayers with your breath. And then Pastor Mimi chimed in with a wonderful piece on spiritual writing and journaling. Colin talked about play as a spiritual practice, and Joseph talked about Sabbath as resistance. And Reverend Allen gave us a wonderful piece about service as a spiritual practice. You can check out all of these on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. Well, today I want to talk about a final spiritual practice, simplicity. And in a way, this practice ties the others together. Quaker writer Christine Hadley Snyder says that simplicity is not so much about what we own as what owns us. This season of Lent is not a season about denying ourselves access to God's goodness in the world. It's about simplifying our lives so that we can truly appreciate the gifts that God has given us. COVID has been hard, not only because we have given up so much, but because we have lost a sense of simplicity. All the things that used to seem so simple and easy, like going to see friends, grabbing groceries, going out to dinner, suddenly seem so complicated and so full of risks and trade-offs. The lack of simplicity is what makes the pandemic feel so exhausting, even when we don't do a lot of stuff. What appeals to all of us about the simple life is that it feels so carefree, free of busyness, free of heaps and heaps of belongings, free of stressful relationships. And for a lot of us, that simple life is really hard to achieve. So the challenge is to find small ways to live into simplicity in the midst of lives that are really anything but simple. So for instance, you may have wondered, why does Colin seem to only wear gray clothing? It's not because I hate color or fancy patterns, or quite the opposite. It's that my life is really busy and I'm trying to find a small way that I can seek simplicity in all the midst of that. The clothes I wear remind me that I belong to God, not because of what I do or what I can afford or what I own, but simply because God loves us. Now, I like to think that there are three dimensions of simplicity. There's space, like things, time, and relationships. And if you think about it, all of our embodied spiritual practices connected with one of those dimensions. We simplify our lives when we create time for prayer, for rest, for play. We can bring simplicity to our relationships when we find sometimes when we seek only to serve and to be in relationship, service for the sake of community and not for anything we get out of it. When we sit down to pray or to write or to play, even exercise, we do so in a space that is quiet and simple, lacking distractions. So my question for you right now is, how are you going to bring simplicity to your life after Lent is over? When was the last time you hung out with family and friends without a schedule of activities and things to do, but just spending time together? When was the last time you spent a whole day doing absolutely nothing with no plans? It seems out of reach, but maybe we can try it. When was the last time you went through all of your stuff and said, here are the things I really don't need that maybe I could share with others? I hope this series was rewarding for you. If these questions of spiritual practices or prayer life are something that captivates you, please reach out to me or Pastor Mimi. And if you want to continue the conversation, join with us every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Facebook Live as we gather for worship. I hope to see you soon.